Good morning, and we have the sun out. It's our first video Post-Tino. This is our Post-Tino drive, and Tino just devastated Cebu. It was a tough typhoon. Something to remember. It was the worst typhoon for some. Diba? Worst typhoon ever. Well, Tino wasn't a super typhoon, but the extent of damage also, the horror part. The extent of damage is one of the for Cebu scale, but it's one of the worst. Although I think Ruping and Odette were still, probably the worst, but at least I can say that Tino will be etched in the memories of many Cebuans, especially those living in along the Butuanon River, like the people living in Villa del Rio didn't expect. They never had such kind of flooding. The cars were floating. It reached like more than 9 feet, probably at least the first floor of most houses were covered with water. So based on the news, the last news, there's still around 12 people missing in that area. So it hasn't happened in that area, especially for quite a while. Meanwhile, I guess we have electricity in many parts of Cebu already, so that's we can say that when it comes to damage to poles, wind, because of the wind, it wasn't as bad as Odette, but the rains brought flooding in many areas that even caused deaths. Diba? Imagine Mandaue, the UN Avenue in Mandaue was flooded, and based on the videos, I can say that it was quite bad. It was scary because there were like vans floating helplessly. We don't know what happened to the driver, so it's really a tough day. Sometimes if there's a typhoon, I think it is highly advisable not to travel, diba? Not to drive around, especially in flood-prone areas. Or some of them are probably working. They died working. Sometimes even for businessmen, but they should know that the risk it's not worth the profit, I would say. Especially if at signal number 4 or diba, category 1 or 2 or category 2 typhoon is barreling your way, so it's not, especially in this time. So the bad thing about gun is, like, I don't know what's happening, because after Tino there's Uwan. What a name, Uwan. That's potentially a super typhoon heading northern Luzon. So imagine, si Uwan nagsunod with category 5, category 4 kind of potential. Diba? Yung name pag niya Uwan, which in Bisaya means rain. So that's quite interesting na even after 2 days or 1 day, kaya may matagkuan kay hapon mga Tino, 1 day later nakita makakita some remnants, makikita some damage brought by Tino. wala, it's still even one. We still have effects of Tino even. Sky is dark hapon. We still have rains. Oh, diba? Kuan ba? But at least we can see some sunlight. But you know, it's being mauli na atong infrastructure is being tested. You know, the flood control projects that they deny, or they, you know, they until now they investigate without any results. But the results are, you know, you can see the results when the flood control projects were ineffective or were no match to nature, from, you know, from earthquakes to flood, you know, typhoons. We know that the Philippines will have around 20 or more typhoons every year. Then lagi na, why do you steal the flood control money? Diba? It will cause death. That dapat yali atong flood control should be, you know, at the highest quality. And probably they should do away with that lowest bidder stuff. It should be the highest quality. There should be a rating for constructions also. No, rating on how they finish government projects. Diba? How the quality of the government projects. Because sometimes they just, you know, pick a contractor, then, you know, without checking the track record. There should be a way of, you know, rating these people. Diba? The completed projects, the delayed projects, the quality of their projects. So it's not only the timeliness, or I mean the time factor. If they're fast, but are they really good? Are the projects effective, still standing? Diba? Because they only say that they have warranties. What warranty can we get if they suddenly declare bankruptcy? So kikiha na lang mo, and then in the end, lagi, we'll still gonna be paying it. So naman na manay ko na to, Post-Tino Drive na to. This is compared before, we have more cars now. I think mas more cars on the road. People are going to work already, tinghali. But I don't know, probably school will still be out because there are so many places without electricity, without water. Diba? So wala tong hope na the mayors will be proactive in that part, no? Dili kuan paglangan-langan o declare o kuan, or they're flustered na noon na. So why in the end kuan na to, grabe ang damage. So, pero for people, especially katulad yung nagpuyo sa mga Butuanon River, bantayan yun, di yun Butuanon lang. I mean, there are so many creeks there is a Cebu that potential yun na danger, kasi tagan mo nagpuyo creeks, and it's not people living in creeks, ha. Wala ka lang living by the river, di lang, ha. Even subdivisions that were built beside creeks, kaya bang sa una okay rin na, nagkanal sa una, but panahon na, it becomes a hazard naman noon yung mga creeks, especially if you have a subdivision na may creek, na dakong creek, you're built along a major creek. Because dili man ang problema lang naas babaw ang problema. I mean, accumulate na sa taas ang tubig, then of course the one living downstream will be the one, you know, suffering. So we have to think about that, na how can we not only, kung di lang ma-mitigate ng flooding from upstream, di ba mapugnan, pero how can we have an early warning system na murag nagbaha pa dong ang Butuanon ganing Mahiga sa babaw pa lang na mahibaw anam na nabaha. Oh, di ba? So how there should be a system on, you know, warning people na incoming na ang baha, grabe ang baha. Oh, di ba? I don't know, they'll use infrared ba dito sa bukid kay gabi man may tabong mga baha. But mao ginaingon na everyone is at risk, especially sa ubos. O gikan sa bukid ang baha. Kaya baha naman may daanan na even in our condominium baha ang parking lot. Nagbalhin yun ng auto because it was already forecasted na we will be experiencing over 200 mm of rain. Oh, that's 200 mm. So pila man na 20 cm. So at least or sige over, let's just say 1 feet of rain na lang sa ka-roller. Pero sa ka-roller mo na standan. So kung nakasubos yun na sa ka-roller, it will be like mo na accumulate na mo ng uban 9 feet 10 feet. Di ba? Because Tino had a wide area of rain. Mao gito ko alam na kung Tino dako kasi na bagyo. Hindi siya hangin, uwan man di siya. So there should be also classification. May kinala classification pero di lang signal number 1 ang natin bagong signals. Dapat it shouldn't be just about wind. There should be a signal for rain. Di lang red, orange alert, red alert, kung saan lang kuhaan nila ba. Dapat ikuha na dapat flood signal number 1 o 2, 3 para may the risk of flooding, di ba? Rain rang, kung wind ra, I think kani mga buildings could survive mga rains, pero ay kanang wind pero ang rain kanang nanay pa kong signal. So anyway, maura na itong storya karon. So good morning, and you know, salamat na lang ta. Yeah, but we also have to pray good for Cebu and also for the incoming uwan. Prepare good mo. I mean, never take things for granted. I'm not saying to panic, but you have to get ready, prepare, charge. Okay, importante ka ng charge, water, gas up. And also and prepare also to live without signal. So until now gani pa signal. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.